teams from Avon, Elyria, and Valley Forge compete on the Nordson Academic Challenge. Here we go, everybody. Thanks so much for being with us as we continue to celebrate season number 55 of the Nordson Academic Challenge. I am your host, Rob Powers. And the challenge of the show is the same as it's always been. 3 local high school teams compete for points. We've got questions in math, science, history, a few other topics as well. For now, though, let's hear it for our 3 teams today one more time. It's Avon, Elyria, and Valley Forge. Every team will be playing for a chance to make it onto our leaderboard. And then at the end of the season, the 3 top teams will be back to play for our grand prize of a $6,000 grant for their school awarded by Nordson, and of course to be crowned the champions of our 55th season. We start this morning where we start every Saturday morning with our lightning round. All 3 teams compete in this round. We award 20 points for a correct answer. We will subtract 20 points for an incorrect or no answer. The match will start off with 100 points for each team. Everybody ready? Unfortunately, war is nothing new. These questions will have to do with countries that suffered an invasion. Good. In 711, the Moors invaded this large country on the Iberian Peninsula. Elyria.
Spain.
Spain is correct. In 1386, Timur's forces invaded this country that has the name of a southern U.S. state. Avon.
Georgia.
That is correct. In 1592, Japan invaded this Asian peninsula, now divided into North and South. Valley Forge.
Korea.
Korea is correct. In 1788, China invaded this country, whose capital is Kathmandu. Elyria.
Cambodia.
Nepal is the answer there. In 1594, Cambodia was invaded by this country, then known as Siam. Valley Forge.
Vietnam.
Thailand is the answer there. In 1246, the Mongols invaded this region, whose modern capital is Lhasa. Valley Forge.
Tibet.
Tibet is correct. The 1914 England attacked what is now this modern-day African country, whose capital is Dodoma. Answer is Tanzania. This city, now called Istanbul, was invaded during the Fourth Crusade. Elyria.
Constantinople.
That is correct. In 1982, this South American country invaded the Falkland Islands. Valley Forge.
Argentina.
That is correct. For our final lightning round question, we go back one more time to the Maltz Museum of Jewish History. Here is Dahlia Fisher.
Everyone knows of the Diary of Anne Frank, but the Maltz Museum now has on exhibit another extraordinary World War II diary kept by 14-year-old Rivka Lipschitz. She detailed her experiences in the Lodz ghetto in what country that the Nazis invaded in 1939?
Elyria.
Poland.
Poland is correct. That's the end of that round. We are off and running. Yeah. We'll be right back with the 55th season of the Nordson Academic Challenge right after this.
Nordson is honored to sponsor a program that celebrates academic excellence. We're a global industrial technology company with a long and proud history of giving back to the communities where we live and work. We donate 5% of our U.S. pre-tax profit to charity every year. Over the past 30 years, the Nordson Corporation Foundation has donated more than $100 million, and our employees have volunteered more than 100,000 hours. And now, we're pleased to support the legacy of Academic Challenge. Thank you all for watching, and the best of luck to all the participants.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to the Nordson Academic Challenge. If you'd like more information about any of the schools that appear this season, you can scan the QR code you see on the upper right-hand corner of your screen with your cell phone. That code will take you to the news5cleveland.com Academic Challenge page. We have links for all of this season's schools' websites right there. Time for us now to play Hot Picks. One at a time, I ask each team 8 questions. A correct response here is worth 20 points. No penalty for a wrong answer. Any team answering all 8 questions correctly will receive 25 bonus points. But before we get to the questions, let's meet our team. Cy, you are the captain from Avon. Congratulations. What do we need to know about you?
Hi, I'm a senior at Avon High School. I'm a member of Model UN, and I'm also a member of National Honor Society.
Welcome this morning. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. I'm a sophomore at Avon High School, and I'm also a member of GSA and esports.
We're glad to have you here. Hi, Nicholas.
Hi, I'm a senior. I participate in Model UN and a part of National Honor Society.
There you go. Well, we welcome everybody from Avon for your questions. Isaac, you have a free board here. 1, 2, 3, or 4?
3.
3. All right. I remind Avon, these questions are just for you. All set? Here we go. Smokey the Bear undoubtedly roots for the NFL Bears from what largest Midwest city?
Chicago.
Of course it is. It takes about 6 days for the moon Triton to orbit what planet? Named for the sea god who carried a 3-pronged spear called a trident.
Neptune.
That is correct. Even students who don't give a hoot for mythology should remember that what bird was the symbol for Athena, goddess of wisdom?
Owl.
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here's your science question. Which of these terms refers to the fact that water can both give and take a hydrogen ion?
Isothermal.
Amphiprotic is the answer there. Sorry about that. Most people do not have anything good to say about war, an exception being Secretary of State John Hay, who referred to what 1898 war as splendid.
Spanish-American War.
That is correct. Not all relatives are kindly, and especially not what big relative who's always watching you in George Orwell's novel 1984.
Big Brother.
That is correct. Let's go back to the monitor. Here's your math question. We ask you to simplify this expression, giving your answer as an integer.
-9.
Just 9. 9. Sorry about that. What 7th U.S. president was called Old Hickory by his friends and King Andrew by his enemies?
Andrew Jackson.
That is correct. Nice round, Avon. All righty. Elyria is up. Isaac is the captain. Good morning, Isaac.
Good morning.
Tell us about yourself.
I'm Isaac. I'm a junior at Elyria High School. I also play soccer and am in robotics. I would like to thank my advisors, Mr. Secar and Mrs. Runyon, as well as my mother and grandmother who have been on the show previously.
Wow. Wow, you're a 3rd-generation academic challenge player?
I am.
Are you kidding me? Whoa. Welcome, and welcome to you. Anthony, hi.
Hi, I'm Anthony. I'm a junior. I'm also in robotics, and I'd like to thank our staff and administration at Elyria High School.
Good for you. Nice to have you here. Hi, Seth.
I'm Seth. I'm a junior at Elyria High. I'm part of the ROTC program, and I'd like to thank our alternate Emma and other team members who aren't here today.
Good for you. Well, welcome all 3 of you. Elyria, for your questions, we go to Garrett, the captain of Valley Forge. Garrett, we're left with envelope 1, 2, or 4?
2.
2. All right, Elyria, reminder, these are all for you. All set? Here we go. The dairy industry didn't have to pay a public relations person to come up with the name by which we identify what galaxy that includes Earth.
The Milky Way.
That is correct. Sitting Bull didn't sit still after the Battle of Little Bighorn. Instead, he fled to what country north of the battle site?
Canada.
That is correct. In an ominous sign of global warming, rain rather than snow fell for the first time at a point 500 miles above the Arctic Circle on what largest island in the world?
Greenland.
That is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here's your science question. A block and tackle has a mechanical advantage of 4. Therefore, compared with lifting by hand, using the block and tackle would ideally require 1/4 the force, energy, or momentum.
Force.
That is correct. Prior to World War I, Lebanon was a province in what Turkish empire that was formally dissolved in 1918?
Ottoman.
That is correct. Nuns, Wives, and Amazons is the subtitle of a study of the female characters created by what author of the Canterbury Tales? Answer? Is Geoffrey Chaucer. Chaucer. That's all right. We go back to the monitor. Here's your math question. We ask you to find the value of this expression when x equals 2.
10.
10 is correct. Ignorance brought little bliss to the Know Nothing Party in 1856 when what candidate, who had been our 13th president, tried unsuccessfully to win another term?
Fillmore.
Fillmore is correct. Nice round, Elyria. There you go. Last but not least, it is our team from Valley Forge. Garrett, you are the captain. Tell us about yourself.
I'm a junior at Valley Forge High School. I play on the tennis team, and I'm a member of Model UN.
Welcome this morning. Hi, Billy.
Hello.
Tell us about yourself, Billy.
I'm also a junior. I'm on the golf team, and I'm also on the baseball team. And well, hi to the baseball team is going to be watching this later.
That is cool. All right. Good for you. Hi, Isaac.
Hi, I'm Isaac. I'm a junior. I am on the Valley Forge tennis team, and I'm a part of the boxing program. And I would like to give a shout out to our alternate, Aaron.
Good for you. Good for all 9 of you. Thank you for being here. For your questions, Valley Forge, we come down to Cy from Avon. Cy, we're left with envelope 1 or 4.
Number 1, please.
Number 1. Valley Forge, these are all yours. All set? Here we go. February 18th, 1979, the first time meteorologists recorded a snowfall on what largest hot desert in the world?
Sahara.
That is correct. Statistically, you are 15 times more likely to get hit on the head by a coconut than to be attacked by what fish, such as the great white?
Shark.
That is correct. Louis XIV, the French Sun King, would not permit sun shades at what grandiose palace he had just built outside Paris?
Versailles.
Versailles is correct. Let's go to the monitor. Here's your science question. Which of these terms identifies the ring of muscle controlling the lens of the human eye?
Carotid.
Ciliary. Ciliary. That's okay. The manufacturer of beer was the focus of an 1872 study on fermentation by what French chemist who later found a vaccine for rabies? Answer is Louis Pasteur. To teach his son's self-reliance, Johann Wyss wrote a novel about what shipwrecked Swiss family that became a worldwide favorite? Answer is Robinson, the Swiss Family Robinson. It's all right, back to the monitor. Here's your math question. If each of the 2 base angles equals 30 degrees, what is the size of the vertex angle in degrees?
120.
120 is correct. The first time a U.S. president played host to a foreign queen was 1866, when what chief executive welcomed Queen Emma of Hawaii? Answer?
Taft.
Andrew Johnson is the answer there, but hey, good round, all 3 teams. Here we go, we'll be back with more academic excitement right after this. Today's judge from Cuyahoga Community College is Adam Osbrook, back for a 2nd straight week. Thanks for being with us again this morning. Okay. We come back to the 55th season of the Nordson Academic Challenge. It's time to go head-to-head once again. This is our picture-perfect round. A correct answer here is worth 20 points. For a wrong answer or no answer, we take away 20 points. This is for all 3 teams. Hands on the buzzers, eyes on the big monitor down front. Here we go. This spiral galaxy from the constellation Virgo is named for what large hat traditionally identified? Elyria.
Sombrero.
That is correct. Arrange the letters in this tidy anagram to name what explosive invented by Alfred Nobel. Avon.
Dynamite.
That is correct. This is just one of the many spectacular views inside what New Mexico caverns that have been designated a national park? Elyria.
Carlsbad.
That is correct. What is missing? What's the missing number in this Fibonacci sequence, Elyria?
2.
That is correct. This 16th century picture depicts a small boat passing what Pacific island, now a self-governing U.S. territory with a Valley Forge?
Guam.
Guam is correct. Measured on the Richter scale, a magnitude 8 earthquake releases roughly how much more seismic energy than a magnitude 7 earthquake? Elyria.
10 times more.
That is correct. Bamboo like this makes up most of the diet of what bear-like animal? Elyria.
Panda.
That is correct. You could provide a splash of color with this issue of Cleveland Magazine, which spotlights home design. When picking your paints, you could focus on primary colors, including red, yellow, and what other? Valley Forge.
Blue.
Blue is correct. That's the end of that round. We sped through that one. Don't go anywhere. Our grab bag route to determine today's winner is still around after we mix it up.
Anniversary event.
Welcome back to the Academic Challenge. Our advisors today from Avon, Todd Sayers is here. From Elyria, it's Jeremy Sekar. And from Valley Forge, Tim Voida and Monica Simonella. Thank you so much for being here again this morning. Great to see you. Time for us to mix it up one more time. I'm going to ask each team 6 questions. A correct response here is worth 20 points. No penalty for a wrong answer. Any team answering all 6 questions correctly here will receive 25 bonus points. Avon's up first. All set? Here we go. We'll put 20 points on your scoreboard if you find in this phrase the word for what colorful arc sometimes seen in the sky after a shower.
Rainbow.
That is correct. Forget borax and rearrange the letters in this phrase to name what colorless, odorless, deadly gas whose formula is CO.
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide. Sorry about that. Eliminate one word here to make this Tolkien title correct. What word goes?
Hip.
That is correct. Here you have 2 of the 3 H-initialed countries that belong to the UN. Missing is what Central American country whose capital is Tegucigalpa.
Honduras.
That is correct. These 3 laws are all important in U.S. history. Arrange them in chronological order.
Northwest Ordinance, Homestead Act, Medicare legislation.
That is correct. You can complete this Mexican proverb by adding what annoying insects that can be house, horse, or fruit.
Flies.
That is correct. Nice round, Avon. Elyria, your turn. All good? Here we go. No, they're Japanese, but see if you can find hidden in this phrase the capital of Vietnam.
Ho Chi Minh's.
Hanoi. Hanoi is the hidden phrase there. Instead of racing, rearrange these letters to name what transparent portion of the human eye that covers the iris and the pupil. It's often transplanted.
Cornea.
Cornea is correct. What word should you remove here to get the correct title of a Shakespeare play?
Table.
That is correct. These are 2 of the 3 most populous cities in China. Missing from the list is what Chinese capital?
Beijing.
That is correct. Here you have 3 very big mountains. Arrange them in order of height from highest to lowest.
Everest, Denali, Hood.
That is correct. To complete this quote found on the internet, add what word indicating a number that can be divided only by 1 or itself?
Prime.
That is correct. Nice round there, Elyria. That takes us to Valley Forge. These are all yours. All set? Here we go. I'm hopeful you can find hidden in this sentence the name for what chess piece that moves diagonally.
Bishop.
That is correct. The letters in this phrase can be rearranged to name what sort of imaginary geographical line that stretches from pole to pole. Answer?
Longitude.
Longitude is correct. This is not. Correct this Faulkner title, delete one word. What word would go?
Off.
That is correct. These are 2 of Canada's 3 maritime provinces. Omitted is what 3rd province, whose Latin name means New Scotland.
Nova Scotia.
That is correct. These 3 devices are listed in alphabetical order. Arrange them in chronological order according to the dates when they were invented.
Galvanometer, cyclotron, Apple computer.
That is correct, and that is big. This is for the bonus points. To complete this hostile advice from author Jonathan Swift, add what type of fuel that comes in anthracite and bituminous varieties.
Coal.
Coal is right for the bonus points. Way to go, Valley Forge. That's the end of this round. We'll be back with our final deciding grab bag round. It's coming up right after this. Welcome back to the Nordson Academic Challenge. Let's recap the scores really quick. 3rd place, 360 points, Avon. 2nd place, 405 points, Valley Forge. Leading the way, 480 points, it's Elyria. But hold on. Time now for the grab bag round. It's a free-for-all. Every correct answer is worth 30 points. A team will lose 30 points for a wrong or no answer. This is for all 3 teams. Hands on the buzzer, eyes on the monitor when we need it. All set? Here we go. An insect called the ziziva is the last animal listed in the dictionary. What burrowing African mammal is Avon?
Aardvark.
Aardvark is correct. A student studying The 2 Gentlemen in the title of a Shakespeare play might do research in what Italian city named in the play's title? Elyria.
Venice.
Verona. Verona is the answer. 10 years after Bartholomew Diaz rounded the Cape of Good Hope, what other Portuguese explorer followed his route and became the first European to reach India by sea? Answer is Vasco da Gama. This variety of water lily is native to what J-initialed island on which most of Valley Forge?
Java.
Java is correct. One of the highlights of the 1893 Chicago World's Fair was a what wheel? A tall amusement park ride, Valley
Ferris
Forge.
wheel.
Excuse me?
Ferris.
Yes. Choice. A cell having only one of each type of chromosome is referred to as rhizoid, diploid, or haploid. Valley Forge.
Haploid.
Haploid is correct. If you could fly back in time, you might find yourself aboard the Flying Cloud, an 1850s example of what sort of swift sailing ship? Elyria.
Zeppelin.
Clipper ship. Clipper ship. That's our final buzzer. We go right to the scores from there, and here they are. In third place this morning with 390 points, the team from Avon. In second place today with 420 points, the team from Elyria. And the winner of today's academic challenge with 495 points is the team from Valley Forge in Come From Behind Fashion. Be sure to join us next week. We've got teams from Kenston, Twinsburg, and St. Vincent St. Mary. Thanks for watching this one. I'm Rob Powers. We'll see you right back here next week. Oh, my golly.